to Sandra Garza, longtime partner of fallen Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick. He was attacked by protesters outside the Capitol on January 6th and later died. And Sandra, I appreciate your speaking out. I know it is incredibly hard to do so, and you are doing so to make a difference and to make sure people understand what happened, that the truth matters. Yeah. So when you hear what's in this report, the Capitol Police Intelligence Unit had specific information in mid-December about a threat on January 6th, didn't warn the rest of the department. The federal intelligence community failed to warn as well. So Capitol Police weren't prepared. What's your reaction?
You know, honestly, I look at it a little bit differently here. I don't think that it's all Capitol Police's fault as far as a failure of intelligence. I mean, I also don't blame, other law enforcement agencies. I mean, let's face it, the Secret Service clearly didn't get the memo either. They had the vice president in the building. I did read in the report that, and I don't know the reasons, but it appears that the Department of Justice, the Department of Homeland Security has not given the committee all the information they need. Yeah. I don't know what that's about, but I do know that the FBI in particular, as well as some of these sister agencies, have been working diligently and incredibly hard to bring these people to justice that assaulted officers brutally that day. And going through all of that footage throughout the entire Capitol grounds and inside was a heck of a job, and I commend them for that. So I don't know if it's an issue of timing, that they're just trying to gather all of this information and get a proper response to them, or if it's fear. The way I look at this as well is every experience, even though this was a terrible experience, I personally, and I certainly don't want to speak for all of the family members that have lost loved ones, the officers themselves. I mean, I'm not in their job. They were actually the ones boots on the ground. They're the ones that have to or have had to deal with leadership throughout their time working as officers there. So, I mean, I certainly don't want to, speak for them. But personally, for me, I look at it as, let's look at this, see what we can do better and fix it. I think if they take too much of a punitive approach, I think that's when people get really scared, and then we're not going to make any progress. Maybe some of these people are not wanting to come forward because they're terrified.
It's very possible. I mean, as you look at this, I was just going through, obviously, Trump's role in inciting this was not part of this report. Really in any meaningful way at all. I know that you and Officer Sicknick did support former President Trump. You mentioned, recently that, Officer Sicknick had Donald Trump's personal plane in the background as his background Twitter on his Twitter page, right? He was a supporter. And I know that you were a supporter because you believed in Blue Lives Matter, and you believed in the former president's defense of law enforcement. What do you think about the fact that this report just doesn't look at Trump's role in what happened that day?
That bothers me immensely. And I think it goes back to, why Gladys and I were up on Capitol Hill and we were meeting with these senators, the Republican senators, to, have them do this full 9/11 style commission, because we do need to get to the bottom of what happened. Yes, this report that came out is important, and we can glean a lot of good information from it, but we need to go deeper than that. I know Gladys feels the same way I do. We want that 9/11 style commission. And, to hear Mitch McConnell asking his colleagues, well, do me a personal favor and vote no on this, that's appalling. That's atrocious. It's reprehensible. Why doesn't he say that to Officer Liebengood's family or Officer Jeffrey Smith's family? okay? Or the numerous officers who were injured that day. I believe one officer lost an eye, or Officer Hodges, who almost lost his life that day, almost being crushed to death, you know? Or even myself. I was not working for 2 months because I was so devastated and broken up over Brian's death. I actually carried a lot of guilt. Brian and I had made the decision to take a break in our relationship. And so, you know, 6 months before he passed away. So I was absolutely broken, devastated. You know, I mean, it's just absolutely atrocious. And it makes me even angrier. And they're doing this to protect Donald Trump. You know, and so for Trump to say, and I watched his speech in North Carolina, for him to say he loves America, that he's a patriot, it's disgusting. The patriots are people like Representative Liz Cheney, Representative Adam Kinzinger, and all the senators that voted yes. Those are the true patriots. Those are the people that love America. And by the way, I said on that interview with CBS, I had said that I would be willing to meet with Trump, not because I want to sit down and have tea and cookies with him. No, because I want answers. And the rest of the officers and the families, we deserve answers. I'm going to slam them with hard questions. I'm not intimidated by Donald Trump like some of his people on Capitol Hill are. So I have absolutely no respect for these people. They're selling their souls for power, for reelection, and like Gladys had said in an earlier interview, to line their pockets. It's disgusting.
Well, you and Gladys, Brian's mother, are making such a difference. I appreciate your speaking out. Sandra, I look forward to continuing to speak with you until we get answers.
Thank you.
And I thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
For the bravery in doing that.
Thank you, Erin, for having me. Thank you.
And next, some of the richest people in the world, Americans paying no taxes. The reporter who broke that story is next. And new details about COVID.